Hey, everybody. Today's podcast episode is something that I get asked all the time about time management. And I've done another podcast maybe a year ago about time blocking and goal setting, but this is going to be a follow-up on that. And it's about scheduling out your day. So lots of people, especially during the time of coronavirus, who have kids at home and maybe are homeschooling and running a business, have a really hard time figuring out how do we get everything in our day. Our days are jam-packed already, and then we have to take care of our house, and then we have to cook dinner, we have to go grocery shopping, and there's just too much to do. And they say, Meliss, how do you get it all done? And so that is what we're talking about today. Stick around.
You're listening to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast.
Welcome to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast. And now your host, Meliss Jakubovic.
Okay, so let's talk about scheduling out your day. The first thing that I want you to take away from this podcast episode is that every day can look different. This is actually why I became an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur literally since the third grade. I came up with an idea, I started selling the idea, and boom, an entrepreneur was born. In third grade, I started making friendship bracelets because we learned how to make them at summer camp, and I loved it. And of course, everyone loved it, and they did it once or twice, but I loved it. Like my dad bought me a catalog, or he got me in touch with the embroidery thread company in the corporate office, and he got me in touch with them and had them send me this enormous sample pack of every single color they possibly had. And I remember it was in this leather binder that would fold over, and I remember that I had a sample of every single embroidery thread that there was and their little SKU number, and I took that to school and I opened up the pamphlet, the big giant leather binder thing, and I said, I sell friendship bracelets for $3 on the playground. And I showed the catalog to everyone, and I let everyone take their orders and pick their 3 to 5 favorite colors. For 3 colors, it was $3. For 5 colors, it was $5. And they'd go home and they'd get money from their parents and they'd bring it to me the next day, and I'd have their bracelet for them in a week. And that was in third grade. How old was I? 9 years old. And so I started doing that because I got to take something that I love to do as a passion and turn it into a business. And I got to decide when I was going to make Joey's bracelet and when I was going to make Rachel's bracelet, and I got to schedule that out in my own time. Fast forward many years, and I've been an entrepreneur in many ways my whole life. I owned a dance company and a performing group. I've owned an art studio and a yoga studio. And the reason why I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur is because I wanted to make my own schedule. I didn't want someone else to tell me from this time to this time, you're doing this thing. Even in high school, I had trouble going to high school during the regular high school hours. I made my high school come up with a special program for myself so that they would flip the hours around for me that would work with my schedule. And I joined a work program. I went to college part-time. I only ended up having to go to school in the afternoon 3 days a week. They made a whole special program for me because I just made it happen. I wanted to be a free-flowing, spiritual nomad as I am. And this is why I'm an entrepreneur. And now, as a single mom who takes care of my ill dad, my schedule matters more than ever. So please remember when you take away from this podcast that you are an entrepreneur, you own your own business, and you can schedule out your days however it works for you and your family, for your vacations, for your spouse if you have one, for your kids if you have one, for me time, which is so important, and of course for your clients. This is critical. So what does that look like? Well, for me, I schedule out every day of the week has a different main task. So for example, that could look like Monday is content creation. So the task of the day is going to be content creation, and you're going to create content that day. And you're going to create content that day, whether it's lead magnets or social media posts or emails for the week. Whatever content needs to be created, it is only created on Mondays. Of course, change this up however you want to. The schedule needs to work for you. Then other days can be for coaching clients. So maybe Tuesday and Thursday is the day you coach clients. And actually, those are the days that I run my Marketing with Intention programs. So every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm running my programs. And I run more than one program at a time. So there's a Tuesday group and a Thursday group. So maybe you take your one-on-one clients on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and those are the only days that they can book with you, and then stick to it, of course. Maybe some days are for prospect or discovery calls, like sales calls. Maybe you have some of those. Maybe that's only on Wednesday and Friday. You only take them on Wednesday and Friday. So you've really structured your day out, and you've really structured your week out. Of course, some days are for me time. Maybe Saturday is me time. Maybe it's Thursday afternoon. I'm going to go get a massage or get my nails done or whatever you do. I mean, I don't do all those things, but whatever me time means for you. In the summer, me time means sitting by the pool for me and reading a book or meditating or riding my bike by the river. What does me time look for you? When do you want to do it? Plug it into your calendar. And then we have time blocking. So time blocking is this concept that projects take a certain amount of time to complete. On average, about 4 hours. Like a big project will take about 4 hours. And you don't want to sit in one spot for 4 hours. We know that's not good for your health. It's not good for your concentration. Sometimes it's good to start a project, walk away, let it sink in, marinate a little bit and then come back to it. But it takes about 4 hours on average. I'm sure that you've been told over and over and over again that creating content is an essential part of your marketing plan. But if you're like most business owners, you might be stuck in analysis paralysis, trying to figure out what, where, and how to post. Or maybe you've been creating content like crazy, but you just aren't seeing the results you've been promised. I promise you, you're not alone. That's why I created my Complete Content Strategy Toolkit, a comprehensive digital toolkit to efficiently and consistently create meaningful content that converts. My toolkit is packed with over $3,000 worth of tools, and the best part, I'm offering it all for the price of one dinner. Go check it out now at abundantstrategy.com. So what that looks like is you block out your time, and certain days of the week or certain hours of the day, you're going to put on your calendar, actually putting it on your calendar, I'm going to do an hour and a half here for this project, or an hour or 2 hours, or whatever that block of time is that you give yourself. And at the end of the time block, you give yourself a break, a 10-minute break, a 15-minute break, whatever you need. And then you go back in to do that same project. So you're not multitasking. You don't have every tab open on your computer. It's one project at this one time that's scheduled on my calendar, and you actually show up for that event and make it as an appointment, and then you finish your projects very effectively and in an efficient way. That's time blocking. So you want to put this time interval into your calendar and schedule it. And the whole point of that is so that you don't get distracted. We're not scrolling Facebook at that time. We're not responding to text messages at that time. If you have a big project that needs to take place, maybe it's for a launch, maybe it's to hire on somebody onto your team, whatever it is, you sit down and you do only that in that time block, and you don't get distracted. So another part of scheduling your day that's really important is having a calendar link. Really important. So I use Calendly. I love it. I think it's $10 a month. I don't have an affiliate link. I wish I did, because I talk about it all day long to everybody I know. But it's just that good and easy. You can use any calendar that you want. I prefer Calendly, and I can make different calendar events for different types of things. Like if I'm conducting an interview, there's an interview link. If I want to have a discovery call, there's a discovery call link. If I have a coaching call, there's a coaching call link. So I love this feature. And then I can send these links out to people and say, hey, find a time that works best for you. And then they just pop up on my calendar. And because I'm so strategic in my calendar and I've scheduled out my day and my time blocks are there and my me time is there and I know what day I'm dealing with which task, so I've blocked off time for each of those tasks, they can come in and fill themselves in the empty slots. So there's no work on my part as far as booking calls goes. It's all on their part. They take control of when to book the time, and they show up on my calendar, and I just show up for the event. Simple, easy. So I highly recommend having a calendar link. And then everything you have on your to-do list, I have like a running to-do list. You want to schedule out these things on your to-do list and put it on the calendar like it's an appointment. So for example, I had a list of 25 things I wanted to get done this weekend. So I wrote a to-do list Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then I divided it up. On Friday, I'm going to do these 5 things. On Saturday, I'm going to do these 5 things, and that's how I went down the list. Then I went to my calendar and I said, okay, this one thing is going to take 25 minutes. I'm going to do it from 9 to 9:25. And it's literally on the calendar. And then I was going to take a 5-minute break. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do this thing that's going to take an hour from whatever time, like 11 to 12. And I scheduled it on my calendar from 11 to 12. This does 2 things. Number 1, if anyone's going to take that calendar link of yours and want to plug themselves in, you have blocked off time to get stuff done on your to-do list, and they cannot block in that time with you, which means you are blocking in that time with you. So the second thing about this, the second part of this, is that you need to respect yourself and respect your time enough to realize that you have indeed booked an appointment with yourself. And just like you wouldn't break the appointment you have with a coaching client, you wouldn't say 5 minutes before, oh, I don't want to do that, I'm just going to cancel. You would show up to that call and you would do that call. You have to have the same respect for yourself and your own calendar and your own time. So if you put on there, I'm going to work on this project from 11 to 12 and it's on the calendar, you're going to show up to that appointment as if you are your own client. And you're going to take care of that shit, ladies, because if you don't, that list goes on and on and on. It never gets done. Maybe you binge watch on Netflix or you're watching America's Got Talent videos like I do when I get carried away on Facebook. And then you got to reel it back in and go, oh, we're here to do some work. So put it on the calendar and that's how you schedule your day. And I really have done this for over 2 years, and I found that when I only take discovery calls on certain days of the week and I only take coaching clients on certain days of the week, I can show up better for my clients and my prospects, and I can spend the rest of the time taking things off my to-do list and doing those tasks that I need to do in my business, which is highly effective. It makes me very efficient, and I get every single thing done. Now, last thing to say about this, and I talk about it all the time, so hopefully if you listen to this podcast, you can understand how important this is because you hear it all the time. If there are a million other things that you literally can't get done on your calendar, even after taking all of these strategies into consideration, it is time to delegate. You can delegate business things and you can delegate personal things. So if that means you need to get a house cleaner, get it. If that means you need someone to go to the grocery store and buy groceries for you, get it. If that means you need to get a meal kit, get it. If that means that you need to hire someone to be a personal chef for you, get it. And if you don't have the money for that right now, then that means you're going to be doing that. So something else can be delegated. Maybe some business tasks can be delegated while you're taking care of the house task. Or if you prefer to do the business stuff, then delegate the house tasks. It doesn't make you a bad person to ask for help. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad person to spend your money in ways that make your life easier. And in fact, you will be more efficient and more effective and show up better for your client when you have more off your plate. So this is how I schedule my day. I hope you could make sense of this and it actually helps you and makes you feel more empowered because you have control of your day every day. You have control of your week. You get to own your own calendar. You get to be in control of your life and your business. And I hope this helps.
Do you struggle with posting content on social media? Is it difficult to show up consistently? Or maybe you're overwhelmed by what to post where? That's why I created my complete content strategy toolkit, a comprehensive digital toolkit to efficiently and consistently create meaningful content that converts. My toolkit is packed with over $3,000 worth of tools, and the best part, I'm offering it all for the price of one dinner. Go check it out now at abundantstrategy.com.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast at www.marketingtipswithmeliss.com.
Hey coaches and healers, it's time to feel supported in your business. Head on over to our free community to get access to my best resources for free. I'm talking marketing tips, business strategy, feedback, and so much more. Join now at magneticmarketingmastermind.com. See you there.